Hey, Gabo back. I'm doing some Nauset TV here, and we're at the Monomoy National Wildlife Sanctuary. Did I get it right?
Oh, no.
Freaking nailed it! And today we're gonna be going on a quick little walk. We're gonna have a good time, dressed warm, because we knew it was gonna be a little chilly outside. Hopefully we're gonna see some cool things like birds and stuff maybe. Let's get her going.
Hi, my name is Amanda Adams. I worked here at Monomoy National Wildlife Refuge this summer as piping plover technician. So I did a lot of summer work this year here, doing regular surveys of the beach, making sure that our piping plovers, keeping track of their nests, keeping track of each pair, interacting with visitors, a lot of other things like that, including habitat restoration and things like that. And I also helped out a bit in our tern camp, where we have possibly the largest common tern colony in the world. It has 14,000 nesting pairs, so there's quite a lot of birds here in the summer. So this is a very big site for wildlife.
Thank you.
What does it smell like out there?
It doesn't smell too bad, really.
Hi.
Hi. Do you want to say hello? Introduce yourself.
My name is David Clapp. I work for the Mass Audubon for 35 years. I work for Smithsonian for 35 years in ecotourism, leading safaris and nature trips around the world. And now I'm old and I'm hanging out here.
Thank
Good.
you.
Welcome.
All right. Just plain water right here. Just about 3 weeks ago, there was a big barrier beach across this whole way, but just recently we've had some weather systems come in and just completely wipe across this area here, and just completely, that area is now underwater. You can kind of see where the breakers are out there now. That's a new sandbar that's forming, and it's going to start slowly moving in and start replacing that old sandbar that was here. And so this is a very dynamic coastal ecosystem. It changes every year. Every year it looks different. So there's 3 islands that make up the Monomoy National Wildlife Refuge. North Monomoy, you can see if you look south from here. And then close to that is Monomoy, which is a really tiny little island. And then the largest island, which has our lighthouse and lighthouse keeper's house, is South Monomoy Island. And that's where the majority of the refuge lands are. But it's all pretty much accessible by boat except for this little piece of refuge lands on Morris Island.
Is there going to be a new cut this year?
A new cut, yeah. I mean, I guess you could call this a new cut because this is all, it's pretty much underwater at high tide.
In North Beach over there?
Yeah, it's possible for sure.
I go there.
Yeah, so this is technically part of South Beach, which is Chatham Townlands. But they're generously donating us their sand, and our nice little beach down here on Morris Island is getting bigger. It's much bigger here this year than it has been in past years. So you can definitely see how much the coast just changes in size and shape from year to year. It was built just about 3 years ago by volunteers, and it's now 5 or 6 steps underneath the sand. And you can also see we've had to replace our trail sign over here because it's got completely buried.
It'd be like me yesterday though. Literally just right off the back.
This is actually Monomoy Wildlife Refuge is home to the largest gray seal haul-out site in the United States. And especially during winter, they come here to pup and wean their pups and reproduce and nurse their pups. Out on South Monomoy, there are often upwards of 50,000 seals. So it's a very important site for them. So you may see them around here on Morris Island.
Thank you.
You may also see some sea ducks. We get a lot of scoters and pintails. past month or so, a lot of changes have happened to this little beach. You can see the dunes are kind of underneath a new layer of sand, roots are exposed. There's a lot of change just happening right in this little section here.
This is my hometown. Welcome.
So they are able to live here, but they are dwarfed because they're under more stress than other trees of their species usually are. So we also have a lot of bayberry. We have some dune grass that is kind of looking a little sad right now because it's underneath all this sand. But in the spring, the roots that are still underneath all the sand are going to grow, and they're going to set up new shoots of the dune grass, and that'll help to stabilize this new sandbank that's being formed right here. Dog and coyote tracks are pretty similar because they're both, members of the canine family. But I think these are probably coyote tracks, not only because there's not a person, not a set of people tracks right next to them, walking them on a leash as they probably should be here on the refuge, but also because you can see that these two center toes are a lot further forward, and it's more of an oblong, oval shape. Whereas with a domestic dog, the overall shape of the tracks are more of a circle. So the paw pads will be a lot more spread out like this, as opposed to sort of an oblong shape like that.
That's interesting. Thank you. That's the last track of that bird you created. Oh my god.
It can be hard to tell. I think
that really is the last.
I think these are actually possibly squirrel tracks here.
Really?
Yeah, bird tracks are pretty distinctive. They usually, look like this. Unless it looks like a mammal track to me.
Please report tagged horseshoe crab.
So part of the research that goes on in the refuge is both Fish and Wildlife staff and partners like Massachusetts Audubon. We have a seasonal program that we will take these little circular disc-like tags and then just take a drill and screw them right onto the carapace of the horseshoe crab. And it doesn't really hurt the crab. It's to make sure that we know where the crabs are going, where we tag them versus where we find them on a recite. We can use that information to tell where the crabs are going and potentially even see how long the crabs are living.
So it's kind of like a shark where you tag them and you can see where they go?
Yeah, it's not really a remote transmitter type tag like a radio tag where there are some shark buoys off the coast here. I don't know if you know about this app called Sharktivity, but you can use it and see where sharks with a radio tag have been sighted. It's not quite like that. It's a little more low tech. It's just a tag with some numbers on it. If you find it, you can go to call this toll-free number or go to the website and enter in the number. And they'll send you a little certificate and a cool little horseshoe crab pin, actually.
That's it.
Smells like mom.
I really enjoyed this walk because I've never seen a beach like this with trees and stuff, so I thought it was really cool.
Each spring, over several high tide cycles, adults return to spawn along Monomoy's long stretches of sandy inhabitants.
For the American people to benefit for forever. So wilderness is where this lighthouse is. There's a little bubble of non-wilderness around that lighthouse. Everything else around it We can't build roads, we can't build houses, we can't even use vehicles, off-road vehicles, ATVs. It's all specifically for, in our case, wildlife, habitat, and human recreation that's transient in nature. So that's why on these islands, the sand is shifting all the time. There's no structures. Whatever structures were in place have been removed because we're trying to maintain this wilderness character. It's one of the only sites in this entire region where you actually have an area that's allowed to change like it always has for generations and generations, in millennia really. So these islands are federal wilderness. Here we're obviously not on actual wilderness. We're on our headquarters site. Most of our visitors come here. But if you ever get the chance, there's a couple of ferry operators. They operate seasonally. Make sure you get out. If you want to go on a real wilderness hike, get out to the islands. A boat ride is 20 minutes, usually like $35 per person. That's one way to do it. Or you can be in touch with us, and we take volunteers out there all the time. So we have a series of Fish and Wildlife Service boats. We take our boats out there. We do beach cleanups. We do wildlife surveys. If you guys are ever interested and available to do these sorts of wilderness hiking trips and trekking trips, then be in touch with us and we'll get you out there to really experience the wilderness.
Thanks for watching Nauset News. We really hope you enjoyed Fit TV here today at Monomoy Island.